A blessed Tuesday to us. One word that connects all the three scriptural texts that we have for today's celebration of the Eucharist is the word will. Will is not just the future tense of the verb to be, which still remains to be seen, which is still to be done. Wa pa nahitabo, buluhatonon pa lang. But of course, another sense of will is actually, in our Cebuano language, kabubuton o pagbuot. And you know, it's a very interesting thing to note that today, in the celebration of the Eucharist, as we focus on the very beautiful and significant contributions of St. Thomas Aquinas. Actually, kung Espanyolo ng iyahang ngalan, no? He is Santo Tomas de Aquino, pero dili mi parente. Aquino or Aquino is a place in Spain. And that's why in English, he is called St. Thomas of Aquinas. Now, all the many beautiful, very significant, and very weighty discussions that theological works that St. Thomas has contributed to the Church is actually in defense of the very faith that we receive. But what boils down to, but all these things boils down to one and only one thing, which is to do the will of God. Now, St. Thomas may be considered to be wise, intelligent, and that is where we think. It's the mind that thinks, but it is the heart that thanks. No? Ang kasing-kasing mao ang mopasalamat. And the will, the seat of the will is the heart. That's why it is to do the will of the Father, just like the Blessed Virgin Mary. May your words be done unto me. May it be done unto me according to your word, which is your will. Jesus taught us the prayer, the basic prayer and the model prayer, Our Father. And it says there at the end of the first part, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So what does it mean? Your love will always be done. We are doing the will of God by reaching out to others, by loving them, sometimes even if they are not really lovable, sometimes if they also just give us so much problems. But most especially from the very point and from the very environment that we come from. This will of the Lord, the following of the will of God begins at home. And this is what we want to exercise. And that's the reason why it is one way to think, because we also need to think, but it's another thing to thank. And thanking is our way of expressing the significant works and actions that God has done in our lives. Many though they may be, but it only says one thing. That's why it's not enough to be just thinking, especially nowadays, but we also don't let the day pass without thanking the Lord, without thanking Him in our lives, by saying it willingly and willfully, because that is His will for us. To thank Him is in fact to do His will in the world. And this Eucharistic celebration is in itself a thanksgiving celebration, an expression of what it means to be touched by God in our hearts. And through our hearts, we give the gratitude that He deserves. And the gratitude, by the way, or thanking, is also connected with the word grace. Tungod sa grasya, kita mapasalamaton. Because of grace, we become grateful. And since we know how to think, we should never forget how to thank. Amen.